Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast.
This isn't two podcasters talking business. This is two business guys trying to podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the 4th annual Alcohol Beyond This Point Nacho Eating Contest. Tyler?
Woo! We didn't start filming at the beginning of it. We started filming halfway through. So just so you know, I'm winning.
We have a giant plate of nachos here in front of us at the Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast.
4th annual competition.
It's actually my dinner. There's pukes everywhere. What do you think about... This is a business podcast after all. What do you think about the business of competitive eating?
Interesting and...
Only something that could exist in fucking America, eh?
It's a little weird. Yeah, it's a little
like
weird.
Where...
just like flexing on them poor people.
Where 50% of our population in the world is starving to death at any given day.
It's like, I'm going to eat so much I might die.
People eat like 70 hot dogs. And like, you know what's interesting to me? All the grand champions of competitive eating are all skinny Asians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the skinny people.
Like Kobayashi is the guy that has the hot dog record.
I mean, they don't eat like that all the time. Like they'll eat big meals to like stretch their stomach out and stuff like that, but they're not consuming more calories than the average person.
I just don't understand how you like physically consume like 115 hot dogs.
I think genetics play a decent part.
You got to be born with that, right? There's no way I could train. Like I ate a quarter of this plate of nachos earlier, and I was like, I need to put this down on my podcast table because I'm full.
Right.
Like if I had forced myself to eat much more, I would have just puked.
Yeah. I mean, if you did that, once a week, maybe your capacity would probably increase.
Yeah, maybe. I feel like you can't.
You can everyone can stretch their stomach, but I think there's like a baseline of people that are better at it.
Yeah. I guess like when you get fatter, does your stomach get physically fatter, like bigger, like more capacity?
Typically.
Yeah, because it's growing with your body, right?
Well, not necessarily. Typically, it's correlated, though, because people that are overweight tend to eat a lot.
I saw a guy on TikTok, like a guy our size, but like works out, that was like, I'm going to try eating like somebody on my 500-pound life or whatever for a day. And he did it, and he gained 25 pounds in a day. And then then he
took a shit.
Well,
and then it was only 4 pounds.
Yeah, well, probably, or less even, right? But like all the comments were like, "Holy fuck!" Like that's just inside of your digestive tract now.
Yeah, that's
25
insane.
Pounds, and he was like 180.
Yeah,
like it's gross. Like that's just all shit inside of you. And I guess like some of it gets like burned into calories. Obviously, some of it gets like water and pissed out. But like, like that's just all inside of you. But he was like showing clips off the show, and it's like, this like woman's like, oh yeah, I start my day with 4 large pizzas, and then I get the 2 cheesy breads and like wrap it in the pizza, and it's just like, and then 2 of the brownie plates from like Domino's as dessert for like breakfast, and then so he's doing all of it, and there was like parts in the TikTok where it's like, I really had to force myself here, but it's like,
that's still extremely impressive.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, I couldn't physically do this if I wanted to.
I'd puke halfway through breakfast and say, fuck it.
Yeah. Eating something so weird to me. This is coming from someone who didn't buy food for 2 months as like a challenge.
Fair.
But eating's always been kind of like, food's never been a huge motivator for me. And
we don't have that in common now.
Yeah, no, you like your food. I would rather spend like no money on food and top shelf alcohol. And you're probably the exact opposite. I know you like both, but like...
No, I'd probably take both.
Yeah, but if you had to pick one...
If I had to choose, I'd probably buy cheap liquor and good food.
Yeah, and I'm exactly the opposite. I'm like drinking like cheap beer every day. I'm like, ugh. And like bottom shelf whiskey, I'm like, ugh, physically hurting me, but like I can eat ramen fucking forever.
Yeah, I can drink cheap beer and like box wine, but like... I cannot fucking sacrifice on the whiskey.
I'm about to say that as I crack on Michelob Ultra.
Yeah. That's okay.
I've actually been cutting back on spending a lot of money on alcohol. Not as like I need to save money thing.
Yeah.
But like craft beer just isn't exciting me anymore. Like like, don't get me wrong. If I go out to a bar, I'm only drinking craft beer. Like you see me, I sit down and go, what do you have local on tap is the first question I ask, right?
Yeah.
I'm never drinking a fucking macro beer. They don't need any more of my goddamn money in the bars.
Yeah.
But when I go, like, I've been working through this fucking like 30 pack of Michelob for like a month.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm just like, I used to once a week go to the liquor store, go to the beer vendor, and like pick those like 12 sorter things and get like one king can of like all this craft beer and everything.
Yeah, and that's like $60.
Yeah, whatever. But like, I used to like look forward to it.
Yeah.
And post about them in the craft beer community group on Facebook, and like, you know, it used to excite me, and now it just doesn't.
I don't
know what that. Maybe it's just.
I think it's partially seasonal.
I've been doing it too long.
I don't get very excited about craft beer in the wintertime either.
No. I mean, like for like the last like year.
Oh,
maybe.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Okay.
Maybe coming back from COVID, the hype's just not the same with like events and stuff. Where I was like, I used to go to like every brewery launch and everything day one.
Yeah.
And that's like, there's a couple that opened during COVID that I haven't even been to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it was a wet ass blanket just on everything. Just a wet fucking blanket on everything that you used to enjoy in your life, and now people are like resorting themselves and trying to figure out what they like.
Yeah, because I used to like go set up my laptop at a brewery.
Yeah.
And just sit there for 5 hours doing my emails.
Right.
And I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Because you got comfortable at home.
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess it's like I never was comfortable at home for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I lived in like trap houses or had like 40 roommates.
Yeah.
Or lived with my parents. So now it's like I'm really comfortable in my home because I have one other roommate and we each have a floor of this house that we rent. So it's like I don't see him if I don't want to. And I have a really nice, like, I have like 4K monitors now and like, you know,
totally comfortable
gaming chair and everything. And like, I'm much more comfortable because I used to go into my office and work there instead of working here because I had 4 roommates. And it was like I could never get fucking peace and quiet if I was trying to concentrate on something. And I also barely had a desk. I had to like sit in my bed on my laptop.
That's one thing that drives me nuts is sitting on a couch or sitting on a bed trying to do work. I'm just slow as hell.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I am too. There was no other option, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, weird times. Weird times that keep on changing.
I was listening to Joe Rogan on the way here.
Of course, because you're a white supremacist.
Yes. Anyway, his guest was talking about being excited for future documentaries that are going to be made about COVID and just
for sure.
Case study on just the effect of propaganda.
Yeah.
And earlier in the episode, they played like some Russian state propaganda about like the Brittany Griner release and all that.
Yeah.
And they're just
unequivocally they won that exchange, right?
Well, I thought so too, but then I found out that Victor Boot had like less than 2 years left on his sentence.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't he have like a 35-year sentence?
He was like 21 months, 22 months from being released. So that really changes the
because remember,
math.
Trump was going to do this as well.
Right.
Like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Trade him for somebody else.
Yeah.
And he was going to trade them for soldiers, and then they never did. And then people were calling Trump like a bad guy or whatever.
Prisoner swaps or like any of these trades with foreign countries, you get shit on no matter what you do. But what the Russians were saying is that the Americans had the choice between the Marine and Brittany Griner, and they chose Griner because woman, black, and lesbian equals
better publicity.
Right, and that's why they chose Brittany. But the Americans are saying the Russians were asking too high of a price for the Marine because he was a spy, and Brittany's just like whatever, a basketball player that had some weed. So they're saying that the Russians valued the Marine or the spy prisoner way more, and they didn't want to pay the price. And I guess they didn't have as much pressure on that issue, so they just went with the other guy. So I'm like,
kind of a win-win.
I mean, if what the Americans are saying is actually what fucking happened, I mean, I get it, which is why they're saying that, because it's a palatable story. But if what the Russians are saying is it was an either or, and they just picked what was the most popular, also completely believable.
Yeah, both those things are believable.
But they're like mocking it. They're like, you should have taken the good white Christian soldier instead of this black lesbian drug addict who couldn't go 10 hours without their vape. And it was like, that's what they were. It was basically like the Fox News of Russia. They were just like making fun of Americans. So I'm like, you know what? It's a good perspective though, because holy shit, most of everything is propaganda, and you just kind of take it for granted that you're just used to the same flavor all the time. When you just watch another country's flavor of propaganda, you're like, oh, that's fucking crazy. It's like,
and then you're like,
oh wait,
what if that ever happened here, right?
right.
Yeah,
and then that's one stupid thing that the Rogan and his guests were saying. They're like, oh yeah, you would never have like that level of state control over the media and narrative here. Like they don't have free speech. Ha ha ha, those fucking commies. And it's like,
yeah,
you almost got it, buddy. You almost got it. It's good try.
So Russia last year arrested and jailed 80 people for stuff they posted on social media.
Right.
Guess how many in the UK they jailed? 2,000.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
They put a woman, or not in jail, but like convicted. 2,000, I mean. Like they didn't fucking hard labor these people, but they gave a woman, like a 21-year-old girl, 500 hours of community service and a record, obviously, for posting the N-word in like a song lyric on her Facebook.
Holy shit.
And then
we better not release this podcast in the UK.
Well, and then people are like, how could citizens, like, I had to unfollow this one stock trading account I follow because they were just, I don't know what happened. Like they probably got paid by somebody.
They sold their account.
No, they just started. Yeah, they just started posting like anti-Chinese propaganda.
It's probably just sold account.
Which like, but it wasn't like every post. It was like one every 5 posts, right?
Right.
And not that I'm pro China at all, because I'm not. But like just the shit they're saying in some of these posts, some of these clips, it's just like, this is just not true. Like it's not what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Like they always post these like drone videos of like drones like spraying sanitizer or whatever for COVID. And they're like, oh yeah, they're toxic chemicals that kill you if you go outside. And it's like, this is not true. And then like the thing that was going viral was like,
you should post some videos of mosquito fogging and say that,
dude, malathion is
and they're
fucking
and they're
poison
vaccinating
to human, right?
They're vaccinating the populace. Look at this without your consent. Ah.
Yeah. So
that'd be
the other one that went viral was someone edited a Chinese broadcast of the World Cup, so it looked like they were censoring people wearing masks in the audience.
Yeah. Which is not true, because that was actually one of the main inciting world events, I guess, that really got people riled up in China, because there was that, round of protests that actually, had a positive result. One of the main things that people were fucking yelling about was they're like, we're watching the World Cup, look at all these people without their masks and they're all fine. And that was like, it was pissing people off.
What I saw is like the Chinese state television was like broadcasting pictures of people not wearing masks and being like, look how fucking dumb these Americans are.
Yeah,
and
but
like,
I mean,
just making fun of them.
They could say that, but you're also watching hundreds of thousands of people in a soccer arena having fun, and they're fine. It's like the commentator can be saying...
Well, they have to watch soccer, though.
Right. The commentator can be saying that, but, like, nobody's buying it.
Yeah.
Because there's too much traffic on social media, too, right?
Lionel Messi, greatest of all time, or what?
GOAT, yeah, sure. GOAT. Fucking Salt Bay. Oh my god, that was so cringy watching that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So when they were doing like the on the field whatever celebrations, like that fucking Salt Bay grifter guy, just like goes on the field and was trying to get like a picture with Messi and got like pushed off like 4 times and finally got in there and like got a picture, and people are like all pissed off that he's just like clout chasing and was making a scene.
Why is he a grifter? I don't know the whole story. I know who he is, but
basically he just
I know he sells like $9,000 steaks and shit.
Right,
but like...
and it's he basically just makes a shitload of money off of, people think that he's like, oh, this amazing experience or these amazing steaks, but it's like you you're just way overpaying for something.
Well, I have no problem with someone paying an extra fucking $500 for a steak to get it on a TikTok.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it goes a little bit beyond that too. I think he's got like multiple restaurants and he's got some like sus business practices and other stuff that he's done. Like it's bigger than just the overpriced steaks, but yeah, apparently he's just generally not respected.
Okay.
He's not like just like a guy who makes great steaks and is entertaining. Like it goes quite a bit beyond that.
Okay. All right.
I have not done the deep dive into Salt Bay.
Well, let's come back next week.
We're gonna talk about Salt Bay.
We'll talk about Salt Bay the entire episode.
Nice.
It's fitting because next episode is actually our steak eating contest.
Ooh.
Our 5th annual steak eating contest.
Yeah, tomahawk steak, like 32 ounce right here.
And no, like 50 of them, and you have to see how many you can eat.
50 32 ounce steaks.
Yeah.
Do you know how big a 32 ounce steak is?
Yeah. You have to
Okay.
eat an entire cow.
Basically, yeah. We'll just walk it in here.
I'm down.
Start. I'm sorry to all the vegetarians listening.
More like vegans.
Those aren't real.
Oh yeah. I have one Argentinian friend, and she was very happy that these soccer men.
Just in general, just happy. No, because of the World Cup.
Yeah, they apparently they declared a holiday.
Oh yeah, the fucking country shut down.
That's pretty lit. I guess they like that stuff down there. But
The most Canadian thing ever said. I guess they like that shit down there, eh?
well, that being said, Vancouver burnt down their entire city and killed 4 people when we won the Stanley Cup. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wait. I don't even remember that story that well. Was it a win or was it a loss?
No, we won, or they won. Vancouver did, and they had a riot.
Yeah, I want to look it up just to be sure.
I don't think anyone actually died, but
No, I don't think
it's,
anybody died. See, Vancouver riot.
hockey riot.
Oh yeah, 2011 Stanley Cup.
Was it really that long ago? Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! I'm gonna
2011 Stanley Cup riot. Only $5 million in damage. That's not that high. That's some rookie numbers there, boys.
Yeah, it's like one Bugatti.
Yeah. 140 people were injured during the incident. At least one critically injured.
Wow.
Four people were stabbed.
That's also 140 reported injuries.
Yeah.
Right.
So
what are you gonna fucking make a report if you get fucking hit by something? Right.
4 people were stabbed. So
Right.
you almost got it there. You
Okay.
said 4 dead. So
Yeah. Maybe that's what I was thinking.
maybe.
No, I was.
We'll
just
say
pull-
that.
I was.
We'll say.
I was pulling numbers out of my ass like I usually do.
We'll say that. Nine police officers were injured. Also low numbers.
Not enough.
101 people were arrested. That's not that many. 101. Type: sports riot, hooliganism, vandalism, arson, vehicle fires. Cause: Vancouver Canucks series loss
Oh,
to
they
the
did
Boston Bruins in the
Right.
Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah,
Right,
it was a
because
loss. Yeah,
My business partner Zach.
because I'm like, they haven't won the cup in a while.
My
or
business
ever.
partner Zach bet this kid Genzel. We were in
Yeah.
grade 7 or 8 at the time. That the winner could punch the loser in the face. Boston, Vancouver, and Zach won, and then he chickened out and wouldn't let him punch him.
No.
Yeah,
So you like sucker punch him later?
I think he made a bat in woodshop, and the plan was to hit him with it. And then we just got distracted and went on to her.
That's fair.
Yeah,
On down to the next thing.
went on to the next the next scheme.
So this guy wouldn't let me punch him. I'm gonna fucking kneecap him.
Yeah,
It's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. It never happened. In all alleged, that bat was for
We were underage,
the grades.
so it's fine.
You got an A on it. It was fine. So I've been reading up and listening to podcasts about like the real origins of Christmas. And there's been like a number of different podcasts I've listened to that kind of like all discussed it. But it's been really interesting for me, especially like someone who grew up, evangelical and Mennonite, thinking about like how to redefine Christmas kind of for myself as an adult. And I got a friend as well who's from the same area, who's kind of going through the same thing. It's like, where the fuck is the Christmas spirit? Like, I don't want to recreate my Christmas childhood by going like, for it's always about nostalgia, right? Everyone experience this Christmas kind of like through the lens of nostalgia, but like I don't want to experience those things again. So like I don't want to revisit that nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it's like I got to make new memories and create new celebrations. It's like now I go back to like, okay, well, what am I celebrating? How do I celebrate it? And I love the origins of Christmas way more than I thought I would.
Wasn't it Santa's birthday?
No.
Oh.
It's so much more than that. It's like
Santa's birthday.
Yeah, it's an amalgamation of like so many different cultures, all kind of
Well, they took a bunch of pagan holidays that happened on the solstice, and
it's
then they're like,
it's pagan holidays. It's a bunch of like different groups and cultures and religion.
like, hey, Christianity, what's going on there? I made this. They're like, no, you didn't. He's like, I made this.
Well, the Christians basically, the way that I understood it was they were trying to be like, no, we're going to celebrate, the birth of Christ, which was around that time.
Not even close. If you read the Bible, they describe very
But
specifically.
that's when they were trying to have the holiday.
Yeah.
So the Catholics were trying to have the holiday like some midwinter thing, but people love to party.
Woo!
On the winter solstice, God, you're annoying. People love to party on the winter solstice because it's the longest dark day of the year, and it's starting to get cold, and it's going to be cold for a while. It's depressing as hell, so like let's fucking drink. So a lot of these parties were like a lot of the pagan holidays originally around Christmas, and the mythologies and stuff all kind of got rolled into what Christmas is now. And the Catholics were trying to like project power and get everybody to follow their fucking thing, but people wouldn't stop doing their own thing, so they just kind of like acquiesced over time and rolled in Christianity into all these other traditions. So like the jolly old Saint Nick is like one thing. Apparently one of the like pagan mythologies was there was a goat man, like a were-goat, half man guy that transforms on Christmas night and flies around in his red sleigh pulled by reindeer and terrorizes children. So
the Krampus?
No, it's a goat man.
What's the Krampus?
That's something else entirely.
Okay.
So, yeah, then there's Krampus, and then there's jolly old Saint Nick. That kind of got rolled into, like, the flying around with the reindeer.
And then they just all made it one thing.
Right. My favorite part about the original, like, winter solstice, quote-unquote, Christmas celebrations, and this is my favorite part because, like, fucking Republicans are all like, oh, it's the war on Christmas, and, like, that was Donald Trump's whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So, reality is, what Americans celebrate to be Christmas is, like, and also like the giving of gifts, all that shit is like 99% of what Americans celebrate for Christmas is all pagan holidays, like especially the way that they do it, like extremely materialistic, the caroling, the bacon cookies, the fucking plays, all that shit. It's all
you say bacon cookies,
like making food, giving stuff out, like all this stuff came from pagan holidays, but the parts that they left out of history, and just like stopped writing about because I don't know if the people writing history are prudes, was
orgies, right?
One of the core parts of it was in the winter solstice, you cross-dress, have orgies.
Yeah.
Caroling was basically roving mobs of people that would go to rich people's houses and be like, give me your food or I'll burn your house. Also all your money, please. And that was like a day of the year where just all the rich people get plundered. Wonder why they didn't keep that holiday around.
Wow.
And also there was tons of role reversal with like masters and slaves.
There was role reversal and cross-dressing?
Yes. On top of that. So there's like
not on bottom?
Masters and slaves would role reverse for a week, and the masters would have to work for the slaves or for the
they call that being a switch now.
Right. Just for the week. And the idea was it was going to giving this kind of relief valve, kind of like the purge, you're giving this relief valve so that people don't revolt as easily or as quickly. And but the through line through like 1,000 years of history of Christmas is just like cross-dressing, orgies, drinking, and like pillaging and plundering. And that basically got left out. And now, but it was like there's obviously like fundamentalists and Catholics and the more religious people, the conservatives, that were really upset at it and would like violently oppose it. And there would be like fucking fights in the streets. People get killed and lynched. So there was the Christians or the conservatives prudes, assholes, whatever you want to call them, fighting the party rabble-rousers. And today you have Christmas-themed drag shows being harassed by militarized Christian conservatives for cross-dressing on Christmas and quote-unquote having a war on Christmas and ruining... Like, this has been happening for, like, fucking 1,500 years, and I just think that's incredible. So I just want everyone to play their part this year. Cross-dress, rob your local rich guy, and have an orgy. So, Merry Christmas, everyone.
I'm going to do some math.
And watch out for the goat man.
I'm going to do some math quick in my head.
Yeah.
We got 10 members, give or take, of our core friend group.
Yeah.
How many do you think are down for Christmas orgy?
What math were you doing? Were you counting?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Probably half.
Yeah, I got half.
I think...
No, I got like all but 3 on it. Nah. Yeah, about half.
So next year, I think... Like,
we should pitch
I
it.
want to do some more research, but like next year, I want to do like the winter solstice, like on the day.
That's today.
Yeah.
It's the 21st.
That's today, which is why I'm thinking about it. Plan like a proper fucking pagan hoedown throwdown. It would be hilarious. And just make that like our friends group like Christmas tradition of just like
an orgy.
It doesn't. You don't.
You
have,
heard it here first,
don't,
folks. It was Tyler.
You don't
Bergen.
have to do the orgy part. Obviously, not everybody's into that, but like all these weird and obscure pagan traditions that are like the real fundamentals of Christmas. And if anyone's got beef, we could be like, we're Christmas fundamentalists. I don't know what the fuck you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But like,
and then we have all
you got to
this
bring
evidence.
the tree in because it's cold. If it's cold outside, the tree is cold. Therefore, you got to bring it inside. That's where that came from. Like, it's fucking incredible. There's so many amazing parts of Christmas that we just aren't appreciating, and I think that's wrong. And I think we should go back to basics and just go fucking hard on the winter solstice, because that sounds like way more fun. Because like just the entire idea of Christmas has always been really confusing to me, and it's like, why do we do this? Why is that a thing? Like, why is Santa flying around with reindeer? That's not even relevant to the story of old Saint Nick. Like, there's all these like loose threads that have been kind of like just pulled together. And then Americans have the goddamn audacity to be like, you can't challenge this idea. It's, it's fucking God-fearing American right thing to do. It's like, you fucking idiots.
I have this guy on my Facebook that's this Christian type guy, but he's like a numerology type guy. Like, just
even better.
Everything, like the shit. Like, he'll post like he's the like, he posted just recently the World Cup. He like took their logo and like he's like, this is actually the symbol for Baphomet or something, and was like, just like it's the stupidest things in the world. It's like, take football the way they spell with a U, and then this many letters, like this number is like spell, and then rearrange it like this kind of shit. And he was like, so he was a few months ago telling people not to celebrate Christmas because it's a pagan thing.
Absolutely, it is.
And then people,
he's 100% right about that.
Christians were like arguing with him in the comments. He's like, no, I'm a more woke Christian than you are. I am going to heaven and you're not if you celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, there's nothing about the like consumerism, for one, of Christmas that makes any sense.
Except the stealing it and reappropriating it part.
Right.
That's very Christian.
Funny you should say that. I actually saw from this socialist page that I follow, this guy's like, I'm out here every year, especially around Christmas time, trying to practice my religion in the way that Jesus would have intended, and all these motherfuckers just calling me a socialist. And all I want for Christmas this year is to just get through one more year of following his principles without getting called a socialist. And it's like, yeah, that's a little on the nose.
Anyway, we're going to transfer here into the segment that we call Shot Caller, the part of the show where you, the audience, can pick the shot that we take. This episode is sponsored by Market Sharpening Company. Come get your knives sharpened at the St. Norbert Farmers Market all winter, every Saturday.
That's very specific. How many people are going to fly in for that?
How many people are listening from Winnipeg, Manitoba that can come to the farmers market on Saturday? Probably not many, but thanks, Brett, for giving me the money for the sponsorship. Cheers.
Dope. Spicy. Fantastic.
So I'm gonna commit insurance fraud.
Okay.
So I used my
What do you mean? What do you need me to do?
Dr. Bergen. Actually, fun fact, my pediatrician was actually named Dr. Bergen.
Wow.
Well, it was Dr. Weeb first, but he died because he was like 97. Why are pediatricians always like 100 years old?
Because they're running out of them.
I used my company's health plan for the first time ever
Okay.
on my glasses
Yeah.
and my eye exam. And they just gave me the money without asking for a receipt or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Seems sus.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So I asked my insurance agent, and he said, yeah, it's like if you're getting, like, most of the people that need to make claims, like, ASAP, like, need the money more than they need, you know what I mean? Like, they can't afford to pay for the procedure, and it's like a liability nightmare if you're, like, you die, because, you know what I mean?
Right, because the insurance company was sandbagging you on the paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. So they play pretty fast and loose with releasing money, and then audit people.
Right.
Rather than
That
so
makes
like
sense.
he said, like, maybe in the future they might ask for receipts, so keep them around for 7 years,
Right.
but they might not. So I feel like I could probably get some through.
Like?
Well, what do you mean? Well, like I go get my eyes checked or something, but I don't actually, and then just give me $100.
I mean, if you're like in a real tight spot.
Hey, profit's profit. I don't know how how you fucking brokies do this 9 to 5 shit.
Showed your
I
committed
made
insurance fraud.
$110 today.
Oh my god.
From insurance fraud. Just like I was at the casino and I won like $200,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just like sent to my business partner. I'm like, I don't know how these fucking wage slaves do it.
$200 and he's feeling like hot shit.
We sold a graphics card that we had bought. I had a Bitcoin mining operation going for a while. We weren't actually mining Bitcoin, but crypto mining, whatever. And GPU mining doesn't really work anymore. Long story, and if you don't care, if you're not into crypto. So I've been taking my rigs apart and selling the parts. So I sold a graphics card, and we split the money, my partner and I. And then I'm like, I don't know how these fucking brokies do it. Bitch, I don't need a job. Look how much fucking money I made today. And he's like, number one, you paid for that. Or like half of it. Like, number two, you sold it for less than you paid for it. Like,
Stonks.
Number three, this isn't sustainable. I'm just like waving $500. I'm like, fuck. Like, I don't know how you people do this.
I gotta say, that's like social media put in context right there.
Yeah.
It's like that fucking guy's like fanning out all his money.
Yeah. I
loses $200 and then proceeds to take the remaining $500 in his hand and then also lose that to make the day into a $700 loss and then calls himself a baller.
well, it's like all the people that flex their tax returns, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
That's just your money, dude.
I saw a video of a girl flexing cash in a car, like probably $1,000, maybe a bit more, and fucking somebody reached in the window, grabbed it all, and fucking just sprinted. So funny. That's what you fucking get.
It's almost like that legendary video. This guy's like trying to eat a cheeseburger, and this fucking fat kid just like reaches his hand in, snags it, and starts eating. He's like, "Oh, fucking gotcha." It's like this fucking so fat. Like the guy doesn't have a neck. He's just so fat. But man, did he move quick. He's like, "Oh, cheeseburger, snatch."
They can do it. They can move quick when they want to.
They.
Those people.
Cheeseburger snatchers.
Cheeseburger snatchers. Actually, that was the name of my band in high school.
Nice. Yeah, that's solid.
We played just pop punk renditions of McDonald's theme music from 80s McDonald's commercials.
It's
We
just the Jollibee theme song.
Call themselves the Hamburglar. What was it? Cheeseburger Snatchers?
It's a shittier version of Hamburglers.
Yeah, we got cease and desisted for using Hamburglers, so now we're Cheeseburger Snatchers.
Oh god. Anyways,
I feel like McDonald's shouldn't. They got rid of that entire everyone. They don't even have Ronald McDonald anymore.
oh,
Like,
did he get canceled?
think about the last time you saw Ronald McDonald. They don't do it anymore.
No,
They-
did he?
Mayor McCheese,
Yeah,
Grimace,
I guess
they're all gone.
it was a played out gimmick.
Birdie,
The Michelin Man's still around. They can't cancel him.
he's fucking invincible. Him and his stars.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
know the Michelin?
yeah.
The Michelin star restaurant rating system, which is the most widely regarded and prestigious and respected system for rating restaurants in the world, was started by a tire company because they figured that more people would drive to the restaurants, thus needing tires more often. That's a real story.
God, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Michelin star. Yeah, it's the same Michelin you're thinking of.
And there was like,
Just like Guinness and Guinness Book of World Records, same guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
that I knew.
Or
Yeah.
same family. But
Yeah.
yeah. Because he used to sit in the bars listening to people be like,
Oh, I saw the biggest.
I caught the biggest fish. I did the 30 million jumping jacks. No, you didn't. And he's like, what if there was this like a record book
Yeah.
that had all this information in it so people couldn't bullshit at the bar? Well, he was a bartender serving Guinness beer that he invented. I don't know if it was the same
That's
guy.
I could see a a beer tender. Yeah, we'll call him a beer tender. Let's
call-
say that the beer tender gets sick of all these drunk assholes telling
Yeah.
telling tall tales. He's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Actually,
Yeah, I'm going to make a book. Yeah.
that sounds like something your business partner would do.
He doesn't have the patience or the writing ability, but yeah, I could see the principles there. So that's funny. And then yeah, Michelin thinking you're gonna. I don't know if that's made any more tire sales or whatever, but
I mean, probably.
I used to know a couple more of these. There's some weird ones. I guess it's like, do you consider that vertical integration?
What?
Like, vertical integration is like me owning the grapes that I make wine from, right?
That's
like
more like creating demand for your product.
yeah, okay. Is it vertical integration that Michelin stars?
Vertical integration is like they've got.
But no,
they got roving teams of guys throwing tacks on the highways, and then also
Well, no, vertical integration is like you own the people that manufacture the rubber, right?
But-
You buy like a rubber farm.
well, yeah, you buy all the black people that like
Okay, all right.
take down the rubber trees. I mean, that's how they did it, right?
In Michelin's time,
Not
Way back in
good
the
Goodyear,
way back in the 60s.
like not yeah.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
what I
much.
mean.
Yeah,
It's like-
pretty much.
Pretty much.
It's and now they just have better PR
Yeah.
and restaurants.
Yeah, evidently.
Well, the rubber fucking industry really took a U-turn there. Went from hand removal in the Congo to Gordon Ramsay, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah,
I was watching Hell's Kitchen this
yeah,
morning, actually.
that's a glow up.
I want a Michelin star. Think I could ever get one?
No,
Yeah.
I think they gave the first one to a Canadian restaurant like last year.
Yeah, there's one in Toronto, I think.
Yeah,
Just a single one, but yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shoot a little lower
Um,
there, buddies. Start with a restaurant where they serve
Not
grilled
anything.
cheese.
Just you wait.
Michelin starred grilled cheese.
I bet I could get one. A grilled cheese restaurant, that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've won 5 awards for winemaking.
Which is pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have you heard anything about like the drama of Napa Valley? Here's an actual business topic.
Yeah, like, I'm not like...
Like regulatory wise, it's just an
Yeah.
insane place to be.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
cannot move soil
Yeah.
without permits.
The industry, though, that's they're just following a lot of French laws as far as the vineyards go.
Napa Valley?
Yeah.
That's California.
Yeah, but they like modeled their vineyard laws around like what the south of France does.
Oh, it's
like with like as far as like cross contamination and shit, like all the laws.
no,
that,
it's like erosion and ecological impact and
Yeah,
like all
yeah.
kinds of crazy shit like that.
as far as I know, grapes don't take a crazy amount of irrigation.
Right.
Like, because we barely irrigate ours at all. We water them a little bit, but
Yeah,
like,
they like heat and they like dry soil.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they're a pretty responsible. What do you call it? Where you like
Yeah,
they keep coming back. What is that called? Sustainable.
yeah, it's a very sustainable
Crop.
crop. I mean, like it also you have the same vine that sits there forever. Like it's pretty. You're not like stripping the land. You're also not like that. One of the big problems of industrial farming is the turning of the soil.
Okay.
Because when you oxidize or like release to the atmosphere, like all that they know that first couple inches of soil, like 90% of biological life that sustains all life, all the biological life that's in biomass that's in soil is all within the first couple inches, and that gets turned up and then exposed to the sun and dies off.
So what you're saying
So it
is
like strips. You're stripping the land all the time. But vineyards, they're not turning the soil.
no.
It's just grass and some tarps and stuff. So it's not fucking killing the soil.
It
all
actually
the time, and
is
it's more
only
sustainable.
grass and tarps. You're right.
It's just grass and tarps. There's not hardly any grapes around.
So what you're saying is, you said the first 2 inches of the soil.
Like first cup, well, like first, like it depends on the soil. It
So,
could be
like-
6 inches, could be 12 inches.
So like 2
more.
inches is big enough.
It's literally what's keeping the
It's
world
like above
from,
average.
It's at least
Sounds pretty big to me. Sounds like a lot, actually. A lot of soil in that first 2 inches. That's what it feels like.
it's more about like how you use the soil.
Yeah.
Anyways, this gambit's gone on long
We're
enough.
gonna take that was one of the worst bits I've ever had. We're gonna take another shot here.
Don't think so.
Yeah, that's fair. Because if we take a shot that's under 40% on the show, we take a second shot.
Thanks, Market
for the
Sharpening
shot caller.
Company.
Thanks, Market Sharpening Company, for sponsoring this episode.
Jorts. Spicy. I'll say that every time. It's fucking delicious.
Spicy. I'm gonna be so sad when we can't buy this anymore.
I know. We're gonna make our own.
Ooh. You think anyone would buy like a pepper wine?
Spicy wine? Probably not. There's very few things you can have spicy. Like shots, whiskey, cocktails, sure.
What if I did like a mango
Margarita?
habanero cooler of some sort?
Yes. You can have a spicy cooler. It's got to be tequila in it, though.
Let me think on that one.
Yeah, Isaac's going to call you an idiot.
Oh yeah, for sure. He doesn't like spicy food, so.
So it's a little frustrating that we can't and / won't really talk about anything that we're going to do this next year.
Yeah, I keep almost.
You keep thinking about it, don't you?
No, I keep like there's some topics.
I got so much to talk about. But
Yeah, Tyler and I have 2 projects on the go.
Biggins.
Like for as far as our careers are concerned, big.
Yeah.
And we'll be business partners for the first time in one of them.
Officially.
So that'll be cool. Yeah, officially, because we've just been kind of going back and forth, helping each other, doing different things for the last however long, and never actually put anything on paper. So that'll be fun. And then the other one is related to the winery business that I own. That one we'll be able to announce sooner than the other one. The other one we're probably 6 months off talking about.
Yeah.
Until we, what I'm talking.
Start doing pre-launch.
Yeah, in whenever the
Summer.
And then, but this other one, whenever I make the announcement to my customers, then we can start talking about it on here. Strategically, maybe even a week before, because these don't go out until a week after. So
fair enough.
Maybe we could have an episode that comes out like the same day I announce it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Actually, that sounds like a good idea.
Because that's something we can go in depth talking about.
Yeah,
for a while.
That's all I've been thinking about recently.
That's all I've been thinking about too. Yeah. So, especially now, like it's the 21st today.
Everyone's like, "What business podcast?"
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
It's the 21st. Yeah. Sorry, guys. We got to be careful with. Okay, let me finish my thought, then I'll go into this next thought. It's the 21st today. I have my last event on the 24th, and then I'm off work until the 30th. Like, we're closing the store, closing the bar until the 30th, and then I'm off until the 3rd or 4th again. So, and then January, February, March is my slow season.
Yeah.
So I am like, now that I'm like gearing down, because like I turn off my marketing, a lot of it, my ads and stuff that I always run, I slow them down this time of year, because coming up like a couple days to Christmas, it's like everyone's bought their shit already.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not capturing anyone, and then my bar's closed for 2 weeks. It's like I'm not.
I mean,
it's not
people buying liquor to drink on Christmas, I guess, also.
Yeah, no, so I still have like a couple running, but like it's the stuff that's like, hey, we're gonna be at these events, or the bar's gonna be open. It's like I stop them, because it's like,
Right.
it's just we're slowing down. So a lot of my job with marketing and sales is like slows down this time, like coming up to January. So my mind immediately goes, okay, I got time coming off. I have this bad habit of I never take time off. I just, as soon as I work 5 hours less, I fill 5 hours with something else.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm like slowing down, I'm like, okay, now I can start thinking about these two other things that we're working on in the new year. And yeah, so it's basically been all I was just thinking about for a while.
Yeah, this next year is going to be fucking crazy, man. It's going to be a level up. It'll feel, I was thinking about actually like this winter solstice party, and I'm like, there's two
The orgy, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
There's two fences.
That might be too much information there. I might bleep that out. We'll see.
Okay, well, maybe that's just for you then.
Yeah, so I was going to say, one of the reasons why I don't like talking about, and I think we both share this, talking about things that we're going to do,
Right.
is because we both despise. There's a couple people I have right off the top of my head that you're probably thinking of the same people that just fucking talk about what they're going to do.
And you never know what they're actually up to.
No, because they're not fucking up to anything.
Also that.
Like, not
Also that.
I like that people don't know what I'm up to.
Yeah.
But just always are like, I have this business idea, I have this new project, I have this thing I'm working on. Oh, I have this deal I've basically closed. And you talk to them a month later, they're like, oh yeah, it fell through. And it's
Right.
like, I fucking hate these people that just brag. And because it's always from a place of like braggadocious. Like, it's never, I don't hate the people that are just like talking about their businesses and like, oh, this didn't work, whatever. It's always the people that are like, I have this deal with the biggest, I got a contract with the biggest, name a company. Like, I got a contract that's imminent to close with McDonald's.
Right.
And then you talk to them a month later, it's like, well, yeah, no, it didn't work out. It's like, you didn't have that deal to begin
No, they
with,
got
right?
they got through to the regional manager who has no clout.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I pretty much have it signed. Like, and then the one that we always talk to this guy every time. 6-7 years we've known this guy. Every time we talk to him, he's like, oh yeah, I'm buying that Lamborghini Huracan. Next quarter I'm getting that Huracan. I just paid my deposit. And he's been saying that every quarter for 7 years.
Yeah, he still drives the same.
Drives the
same
car.
car.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay. Like, so because I've internalized that and I hate it, I don't like to I just like to make announcements. I don't like to tease stuff anymore.
Yes.
Like,
I agree to that most of the time, although I do think there is some value to the tease and the anticipation, and like, as long as you're vague about it, and,
I do,
and not making promises.
I do it for my customers. Like, I'll post a obscured bottle, but you can't really see the label, or like when we started doing canned products, it was like I posted a can with no label, and they're like, and people were like, holy shit. Like,
but it's, you're not blowing smoke. You're teasing.
I'm teasing something that I've already had completed for 6 months,
right.
that they just haven't heard about the customers, right? So that's different than what I'm talking about, which is like always, because I have fucking businesses all the time that get pretty started, like, and then just fall through because, I had one pretty recently that funding just didn't come through.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and then, all this and whatever. And, if I had made a Facebook page and an Instagram for the brand and, all this, it's like, oh, okay, now.
There goes some credibility.
Exactly, because I used to do that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted clout. And so I would, like, have an idea, make a fucking Facebook page for it, and then be like, yeah, this is my new business. And it's like, it never happens.
Yeah. When I get to a certain level, like our current projects are, actually happening, I get to the point where I just, like, in person, I start talking to everybody because I find it really starts to open things up, because I've been I've been told by my girlfriend that she's like, you're the fucking luckiest person that I know. Like, I'm always lucky with shit. I always get the thing that I need when I need it from the place I need it from, and it's just like I'm always getting lucky. But it's like that's not really what's happening. It's kind of like calling a salesman lucky because he closed a client on a thing that was like really unlikely.
Yeah, but he knocked on 100 doors before that.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I don't believe in luck.
As soon as I tip over into like that certainty level, I buy into it.
Yeah.
And I will sell that thing with certainty, even though it is everything but certain. And I just start hitting every single person that I run into, and all of a sudden, bang, somebody that's useful. And I'm like, wow, that was so fucking lucky.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it wasn't. You just pitched this to fucking 40 people this week, and you just hit the guy, and all of a sudden you feel lucky, but you forgot about all those times you got rejected or that you got a non-response. It's like, no, you're not lucky. You just keep swinging.
Yeah,
and
because I feel like
served me really, really well.
I feel like you're one of the most unlucky people I've ever met. Like, you're constantly, your cars are breaking down, your
right.
shit's getting
which is really the truth. Like,
your shit's getting stolen.
Yeah,
fucking like your windows getting broken. Like your catalytic converter's getting stolen.
Quit
like,
saying that because you
lose your job. The company you work for goes bankrupt 3 different times since I've known you. Like, I feel like you are one of the most unlucky people.
Yeah.
And then me, on the other hand, I don't know how I get this far.
I think it nets out even. But if I was like actually lucky, I'd be a multi-millionaire right now.
Yeah.
If I was like unlucky, I don't know how much.
You came home from a 14-hour workday doing construction. Your girlfriend goes, "Man, you're lucky." It's like, yeah, all right.
No, it's more so that I just always land on my feet.
Yeah, which is just resiliency, right?
Right.
Like, I don't like.
Yeah.
I resent the fact that she would call you lucky because that's like not being appreciative of your tenacity.
Yeah.
I feel like you are skilled and tenacious enough that you keep landing on your feet and didn't let any of those things that I mentioned knock you down.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Oh, the universe is so nice to you."
Right.
Where it's like, that's a fucking shitty attitude.
That's fair. That is a fair point. Yeah. No,
Girlfriend's pissing me off recently.
I don't think.
Love you, Carly.
There's nothing that could reasonably actually beat me at this point, and it's just like
that's how I feel too.
It's all of those defeats along the way, and I know you've obviously had so many fucking blindsided hits with your business.
Oh God, yeah. There's nothing they can do anymore.
Like namely pandemic. Like
the pandemic was big,
wet blanket on entire world.
But
weathering
think
that,
about like even like 10 months in.
Yeah.
The provincial liquor board clawed like 30 grand out of my bank account.
Yeah.
And put us out of business. And I had to take emergency loan from like a fucking company charging 30% interest to fucking pay off my bills because like the last day of the month they just clawed money out of like off a PO. They just didn't pay us.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh no, you actually owe us this now because we've changed the rules of how it works." And we're like, "Well, we didn't sign anything." They're like, "We didn't have to. We sent out a memo that we never got."
Right.
And I proved to them in a meeting that we never got that memo. And they're like, "Well, you should have did due diligence and, look for it." And then they took all our money out of a PO, didn't pay us. And then we almost went out of business. It's like shit like that has been happening my entire fucking life. Like I was 19 when that happened.
Yeah, you're just getting rat fucked day and night.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Wow, you're so lucky." And you're like, shut up, dude.
Shut up, yeah.
Yeah,
well, you were there half the nights where I'm like lying on my office floor at 4 a.m, like trying to plot how to fix it and like.
Man, the number of phone calls and conversations we've had of like, I'm going out of business in 20 days.
Literally.
Like, and then you break it down for me, like sometimes hour by hour, why you're going out of business, and then we figure out how to get you the fuck out of it.
Because I wouldn't say I'm very dramatic. Like I'm pretty pragmatic when it comes to stuff like that.
When you call and say, "Buddy, I'm fucked," like I take you very seriously.
Yeah, because sometimes like I'll be talking to like Margaret or my parents or someone, and they'll ask me like, what's going on with the business? I'm like, oh, just same old, like, selling wine, whatever. I'm like, no, but like, I actually want to hear like what's going on. And I just start talking about what I'm currently doing. And then they're just like fucking jaw,
just like glaze over.
Like, what? Like, And I like, yeah, my parents especially. It's like they can't even comprehend
No.
the kind of money I'm spending.
Yeah.
Like when they're like, they're asking about purchase orders and stuff. And I'm like, oh, how like the new product that I have here on the table, our Wild and Hard Iced Tea, available at shrugdot.com. That's shrugdoc.com. When that came out, they were asking like how well it was doing, right? And I'm like, oh, we've sold this many cans. And they're like, well, how much money is that? I'm like, well, this amount retail, this amount wholesale, right? And they're like, wow, like it was probably like 25 grand or something, wholesale, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, that's like. Because I think I told them before that, like, I was in a little bit of personal credit card debt and stuff, and
Yeah.
like, whatever.
And they're like, wow, you pay off your credit
they're
card
like,
debt.
you can pay off everything, you can whatever. And I'm like, I spent $60,000 this month.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, it's
What are
like,
you talking about?
Like, the numbers just, they don't comprehend just because
Yeah.
they've never been in that
If it was
position where it's
125, maybe.
Because, like, on the bit, like, the business spent $400,000 last year.
Yeah.
And we made, like, 401, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just, like,
Yeah.
it's just, I'm spending 10% more than we make, number one. Number
Yeah.
two, it's like, no, I actually just did they haven't been finished yet, but I just got my preliminary books from my accountant. Third year in a row, we made a profit. So 2021 fiscal, we made a profit.
Nice.
So it's third year in a row. And yeah, my bank just called me didn't even call me, just upped our line of credit from
Yeah.
5 to 10 grand,
Nice.
like without asking us. And we're like, remember when I started and I went to every bank and credit union in the entire province and
And
they
they're
all
like,
told me
"Fuck
to
yourself."
fuck off.
Yeah.
And then they said, come back in 5 years when you've been profitable for 3 years. And I was like, we're going to go to business before then. This is unacceptable. This is fucking stupid. And then now I'm coming up on year 6 with 3 years of profitability and they're giving us money. And I'm like, damn it. They were right all along.
Well, they were right because that's their policy, but
I'm trying to get like better at, I heard this quote from Andrew Tate actually. Because he's a chess player. And he says, a good chess player, if you're in a bad position, doesn't go, okay, well, we're going to change the rules now. And now knights can't move like this. Now they move. Like, you can't
Right.
do that, right? Even if you're in a bad position, you just have to make the best possible moves. Right? And the fact that, and when I was younger, the fact that the government did this and the banks did this, I always felt like I shouldn't play along because morally I was against what they were doing.
yeah.
And I thought that I could change it.
Right.
When realistically, this is the chessboard that's set in front of me. And I need to play the moves that I have.
Yeah. And
And
yeah,
being like, fuck those banks, I'm not going to play their game, is not going to work. Like,
they don't
right.
care.
Even if Elon was like,
makes no difference.
fuck
to
your banks, I'm not going to play your game, they're going to be like, okay.
whatever.
Whatever. Like, you think BlackRock gives a fuck if Elon Musk doesn't play their game?
Goldman,
You know what I mean?
Goldman Sachs,
It doesn't give a
JP,
shit.
whatever. They don't. Yeah, they don't care.
If they go under, they get bailed out.
Yeah.
If Elon does, he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the banks are playing on a different level, and they're only 7 levels from the top.
Right.
Right? Like, so the fact that I'm looking at this chessboard when I was a kid and being like, well, no, if we can snake them, we can go above their heads, we can go to the board, we can do all this. It's like, I should like, in retrospect, it's like I just should have been making the moves I could have made.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a lot of anger that I don't have anymore towards these places because like this is how it is.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna start playing the game.
Yeah. So I think I've gotten a lot better at that
Yeah.
last couple of years, and I think that's helped the business a lot.
Not any less resentful.
No. Oh, and when I'm in the position too, they're getting fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I have the position, when I have the clout to privatize the liquor board, they're getting fucking privatized, and I'm gonna laugh them out of the room because it's gonna happen. Their days are numbered because they keep fucking up.
Yeah.
And I'm taking a log, and I'm making friends with MLAs, and it's like I'm playing a long game here.
Yeah.
I'm moving my pawn in the corner every couple moves to get that queen at the end to like change it into a queen. You know how to play chess?
Yes.
Okay. And it's going to take a while, but it's all, and then I'll have the power and it'll be good. But I didn't have the power, the clout, and I still don't have the power in the clout to make big changes. So there's no point.
But
There
will be one point where it'll be a good old Mexican standoff.
Or it isn't. And
Or you go out of business.
or I go to business. That's fine too.
That's more likely.
Yeah, I'm still stressed about my money situation and the business and everything, but it's like I have a lot more resources at my disposal now than I
Yeah.
used to. Like,
You have more options.
so many more options, like to, like almost unfathomable when I look at every so often it'll come up on my my Snapchat memories or something of like just the my bank account or like the business bank or like the POs we were getting or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jesus. Like
That was sad.
that was sad. Like, and I thought it was so great, right?
Yeah.
Where I'd be like flexing 10 grand and I'm like, oh, right?
10 grand PO and you're pissed.
Yeah, now that's like, that wouldn't even, well, now that's not even my burn, right?
Yeah.
Now my burn's over 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it's interesting to have that perspective of like, I have a lot of friends that do farmers markets with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to not be a dick to anybody, obviously, but they always think, okay, when someone's like, oh, I did really well today, I did this, or no, they don't say that. They say, I did this many sales today. Like I did $500 sales, right? And I always have to be like, is that good?
Yeah.
Because I just don't have context. I'm not trying to be like, oh, that's not a lot of money, but maybe you think it's a lot of money. I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to contextualize is,
Did you spend $468 to
Yeah.
get here today?
Exactly. What, like, is that good for you? Is that above what you should be making, right? And my friend the other day actually had his first 4-digit day.
Nice.
So had to go to 2 markets to do it. We had back-to-back markets, and we both did the back-to-back markets. So he had his first 4-digit day, and smashed it. I think did like $1,400 or something. It was like the first time ever, and was really happy. And I was really happy for him too, because like for like a normal person with like a sole proprietorship and no building that works out of his house,
Yeah.
$1,400 in a fucking day is good money.
Yeah.
Right.
I remember I remember the day I made $1,000 like net to myself.
Yeah.
First time I made $1,000 in a day.
Yeah, it's big.
That's
right?
pretty dope.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Like,
And
that's good money. That's not fucking around.
so yeah, so I was congratulating him. I was like, he's like, yeah, maybe one day you'll have a 5-digit day, because I have 4-digit days all the time. He knows that, right? But he's like,
Yeah.
maybe one day you'll have a 5-digit day. And I'm like, do you not think haven't had a 5-digit day yet? And he's like, what? I'm like, what? Like, yeah, no, I've had close to a 6-digit day
Yeah.
from like purchase orders that I won't get for months.
Right.
But sometimes, especially, actually, it'll be coming up. The liquor board in Manitoba here, the liquor stores don't place orders in the month of December. It's because December is their busiest month, so they don't place orders. So if you get an order in November, you can deliver it in December, but in the month of December, they don't place orders.
Right.
So and that fucked us the first year
Yeah. I remember this.
because we had nothing on the shelf. They sold out of everything.
Right. So you had nothing on the shelf, and then December was like didn't hit for you guys, and then spring is cold. Or New Year's is
but
cold.
they couldn't place an order to get restocked because
Right.
they just don't. So, so January.
So you missed out on all those sales.
Correct. But now I anticipate it every year, and I ask for more. If they're going to buy 100 cases, I ask for 150
Yeah.
in November, and then so they have enough. And usually early January, they order all the stuff they sold out in December.
Right.
And that's been like, I'll get a $60,000 PO or
Right.
more. So I've come close to, I think, $100,000.
Hmm.
And obviously then some of the products they don't buy for another 6 months
Yeah.
because they sell through it. So obviously that's not like I'm doing $100,000 a month. But
Right. No, it's not in a day, but it's like it crosses your desk in a day.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've had those too. We've had like six figure shit, whatever, cross the desk in a day.
Yeah.
But it's obviously it's a lot of work.
But then even for like someone who I do markets with that I'm talking about to make $1,000 in a day, it's not like all that inventory was made that day too.
Right. Exactly.
That's just how it works, right? Like, but I think it's important to celebrate wins like that, like making a certain amount of money and like having little milestones. And,
Especially if you're comparing it to yourself.
yeah, well, I think that's the only way you should do it.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, wow, I used to make hundreds of dollars, now I make thousands or tens of thousands.
Well, now I'm
that's valid.
Correct.
But being like, if I say, we just closed a $120,000 contract, and you say, I just got a $20,000 PO, we may have made the same amount of money.
It's like both are good. Yeah, both are good.
So
contextualize. Right?
Potato, tomato.
Yeah, exactly. Manila, vanilla. Manila's the capital of Thailand.
The Thriller?
Wait. The capital
The
of China.
Thriller? The Thriller?
Wait. Capital of Japan.
Oh.
I think that's a good time to end, Tyler.
We didn't really have anything to argue about today, unfortunately.
Yeah, did you being drunk now change your mind about anything that we talked about today? Yeah, no, like I've had 2 shots now. I want to have an orgy.
Yeah, I'm like 80% closer.
Nice. Wait, 80% from what?
Before.
I would have figured you at like already 80%.
Sure.
Now you're 160%?
No, 90. What is 80% of 20%?
Huh?
Of the remain.
What do I look like, a fucking mathematician?
Well, you were doing math before.
Yeah, I just counted my friends in my head, and it took me like 19 seconds.
That's true. That was kind of sad. Anyways, so join us next year for
Oh God, is this no
winter solstice episode.
We got one more before 2023.
No, sorry, I was gonna say like this episode next year, celebrating the winter solstice, where it is depressing as fuck. I mean, like we're not gonna tell you guys anything that we're doing right now, but we're gonna be doing cool shit next year, and it's gonna be fun. And I think, level up. It's gonna be level up next year, and I think that's really, really.
We just put ourselves in a ton of debt and go out of business, and then have a shitty podcast.
Unlikely.
All right.
Unlikely.
All right.
No, I don't know. I'm just extremely. Let's just wrap up the podcast on like final thoughts, I guess, because we're not really doing tip of the morning anymore.
Yeah, I'm trying to switch it to like more of what this podcast is themed on.
Right.
Which is, did you change your mind on anything we debated now that you're drunk?
Brittany Griner was a great deal.
I think it was a great deal for both sides, which is very rare for geopolitical events.
Yeah, like for all you fuckers being like, oh, they let a war criminal, like the guy had 2 years left and was going home anyway.
Also, I don't consider people a war criminal if they do the same thing the government does.
Fair.
He didn't kill anybody.
That's what they're saying. I think Victor Boot's a boss.
He didn't kill anybody.
No, he didn't.
If selling a gun to somebody makes you a murderer,
oh boy,
fucking lock up everybody. Right?
Literally, yeah, lock up so many people.
So I don't want to hear it. It's not like
lock up every state that borders Mexico.
It's not like he was this fucking, gangster that was killing people or whatever.
No, he sold to both sides.
He was an arms dealer. And just because he did it unsanctioned.
Well, he would sell to rebels that fought Americans, which is why he's based.
Which is based. That's what I'm saying. It's like he wasn't a fucking murderer. I'm a big Victor Bout fan. Watch the movie. What's it called? War Dog. No. Nicolas Cage plays him. What's it called?
Oh, shit.
A Lord of War.
Lord of War, yeah.
Watch the movie Lord of War, 2008, I want to say.
And tell me he's not based.
No, I think it's later than that. Whatever. 2014, maybe? I don't know. Lord of War.
It's pretty recent.
Nicolas Cage plays Victor Bout, and it's actually, unironically.
Boot. Actually, it's Victor Boot.
It's actually... hello, I am Victor Bout. I sell guns. I'm really bad with accents.
Anyways,
this is falling off the goddamn
This is falling
rails.
off the cliff. Anyways, I was gonna say I'm just extremely grateful that I can pretty much expect that next year is gonna be like.
Well, you're lucky.
Next year's booked.
You're lucky. You got lucky.
Oh yeah, I got lucky. I'm sorry. I got lucky that I'm going to have a good year, and for that I am extremely grateful to myself for making it happen. So yeah, that would be it.
Thanks for listening. I realize we didn't actually introduce the podcast to begin with, but this was episode 97 of Alcohol Beyond This Point.
Ooh.
The podcast where we debate business topics, both sober and drunk, to see if we come to the same conclusion.
And eat nachos.
And the only business topic that we debated was whether or not we'd have an orgy, and we both landed on yes. So,
profits.
Episode 98. Watch exclusive on Pornhub.
Subscribe to our OnlyFans.
Cheers.
Episode 98. Oh, it's so close.
Alcohol Beyond This Point podcast.
This isn't two podcasters talking business. This is two business guys trying to podcast.